Now we're going to take a look at a very common submission from the half guard called the Darce. A lot of times when you're on half guard top and your opponent fishes for that underhook, the Darce is right there. Let's take a look at how to make it successful. So I'm in that half guard position. You know, I've started to try and clear around this leg, and Patrick's good. So he goes for that underhook into the half guard position. I need to start dealing with this now. There are a lot of different ways that we can deal with this. You know, we can start fighting back for our underhook, we can start making space, or we can start fishing for the Darce. When I start to fish for the Darce, it's very important that I start to feed this hand underneath. How deep I get this hand is going to dictate whether or not I finish him. This is our setup hand. Now, we need to start cutting off of his hip movement, and we can do that by manipulating the neck. Manipulating the neck will do two things. Like I said, it will also cut off the hip movement, but it's going to lead to my hand getting to the back of the neck as quickly as possible. The hardest part about the Darce is going to be breaking down your opponent's neck. We have options of what to do if you can't make that happen, but let's go through an ideal world where we do get that neck broken down. So I'm going to start to stuff that head, and my arm comes in. You see how I control the back of the neck with my hand. That's very great. You know, his neck's starting to break down. If you can't get it to break down, but your hand does go all the way through, I like to bring my elbow and I'll pull on the back of his neck. When I pull his neck past, I open that hand. So I was here, that elbow comes, and right there. That way I never lose domination over the neck. Very important. So I get here, I get to cinch up my grip, and I want to make sure that that bony part of my wrist is on the outside of the neck, okay? I don't want to use the flat part or the bendy part of my wrist or the back part that bends. I want that bony part to be on the neck. Now, a lot of people finish this differently, okay? The easiest way is to move onto this hip, towards his hip, so I'm going to sit on that one cheek in here, and you can see that my legs are wrapped up inside Patrick's. That's fine. A lot of people really like to just squeeze right here, but sometimes you won't get the submission that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right elbow, that's the one that's connected to this hand, the setup hand. I'm nice and tight here, and I'm going to lift it towards the ceiling. Once you have that hand underneath the neck, that's where your fulcrum is. That makes this arm the lever, and a lot of people like to squeeze here. Great for finishing, that's fine. But what I want you to do is I want you to lift that elbow towards the ceiling. It's pretty vicious, it comes up quick, doesn't it? So he's in here, he's got that underhook. Oh, watch my base. I'm going to start to fish my hand through, and I'm going to cheat. Start bending his neck. Awesome, that's what I want. Elbow to the back of the head. I'm going to pull it in. Oh, I barely got a good grip there. Oh, I want to get it as best as I can, okay? So I'm going to walk this hand up nice and tight. I'm going to sit on that cheek, and then from here I'm going to lift. So Patrick has that underhook. He's starting to come out to the side. I can't let him cut the corner here. I can put that fist on the floor. Close that doorway. I'm going to take this free hand. I'm going to start stuffing the head. That's awesome. I'm going to reach my hand through, and now my other elbow comes, almost like I'm going to do one of those old style traditional break the concrete blocks, okay? Down, and that hand comes up. I like to control nice and tight. Now I'm going to switch my hips, and now from here I'm going to lift that inside elbow. All right, so Patrick has me down here. He's got that solid underhook. My arm's going to start to feed through. I'm chalking the hips. I'm going to stuff the head. Elbow, control my own bicep, and look at how I switch. My hips don't fall all the way back. You don't want to pull them on top of you. You just want to sit right here. Open your legs, Patrick. This elbow right here is what I'm talking about. So when I'm in here, I'm going to start to lift it towards the ceiling. A lot of people like to compress, and I'm not going to say you can't get the submission that way, but watch how it cranks it up. When you get to that tight position, squeeze lightly, and then lift that elbow towards the ceiling. Don't compromise your base, don't roll back, but just that little bit of upward pressure can totally change the feel of the submission.